Riffleman 1958, cast Then and Now, 1958 to 2025.
The rifle.
Look over there.
Oh, the Prophets, huh? Haven't seen them for a year. They give it.
A whole family of black bears just up the mountain.
Let's go!
With 3 cubs.
Well, there's a new bank being built. It ain't open yet.
But until then, you perform the...
Number 1. Chuck Connors. Imagine the dusty plains of the Wild West, and the figure of Lucas McCain striding into view in The Rifleman, a series that began in 1958 and saw Chuck Connors embody a strong, principled rancher for 168 episodes. With his deep, commanding voice, often tinged with a Brooklyn accent, and his towering height, Connors was a memorable presence. His trademark square jaw and piercing blue eyes added to his iconic look, never forgetting the modified Winchester rifle that became synonymous with his character. Born Alan Connors on April 10, 1921, he later became known as Chuck. Beyond the screen, Connors was a devoted family man, marrying Elizabeth Jane, Betty Riddell, in 1948, with whom he had 4 children, Mike, Jeff, Steve, and Kevin. After their divorce in 1962, he married Kamala Devi and later Faith Quabius. Interestingly, Connors was one of only a dozen athletes who played in both Major League Baseball and the NBA, showcasing his athletic prowess before his acting career took off. He played for the Boston Celtics, Chicago Cubs, and Brooklyn Dodgers. Even in his baseball days, a moment of note was hitting a home run against the legendary Sal the Barber Magley. Later in life, he remained connected to the sports world, even supporting Burt Lancaster's nomination to the Cowboy Hall of Fame. Chuck Connors left an indelible mark on television. He passed away on November 10, 1992, at the age of 71, succumbing to pneumonia stemming from lung cancer, a consequence of his long-time smoking habit. He was laid to rest with the logos of his 3 beloved sports teams etched on his headstone, a testament to a life lived fully across different fields.
Tanner, Paul?
Might give it a try. A little prize money could help make our first payment on the Dunlap place. Passed away back east. Judge Hanovan settling matters for the heirs. Seems they were anxious to sell.
Number 2, Johnny Crawford. Mark McCain, by Johnny Crawford, a role he inhabited for all 168 episodes of the series, from 1958 to 1963. Crawford often reflected on the magic of that time, saying, "What boy wouldn't love dressing up as a cowboy and getting paid for it? It was hard work, and I took it very seriously as an actor, but I was living in a dream." Born on March 26, 1946, Crawford's talents extended beyond acting. He developed a deep appreciation for music, leading his own orchestrated band that he felt offered a unique romantic sound that transported listeners to an older America and a simpler, more elegant time. He even imagined his character, Mark McCain, growing up to lead such a band in the 1920s and 30s. He recounted a memorable concert where Dustin Hoffman watched his band intently, reminiscing about his childhood. Martin Short was also enthusiastic, even wanting to sing with him. While forever linked to The Rifleman, Crawford also appeared in other productions, including the film El Dorado in 1966 as Luke MacDonald and the TV movie Rupert Patterson Wants to be a Superhero. His musical contributions include being listed as a singer in The 13th Floor in 1999 and having his song Easy Come, Easy Go featured on the Hellboy soundtrack in 2004. He also had a role in the TV series Paradise as Doug McKay. Johnny Crawford passed away on April 29, 2021, at the age of 75 after facing Alzheimer's disease, which was further complicated by COVID-19 and pneumonia. His portrayal of the spirited young Mark McCain remains a significant part of television history, a testament to his early talent and enduring charm.
It's luckier to go this way than from anthrax.
Sorry, I just...
What's he so mad about, Paul?
Well, I don't think he knows, son. But he can't be as mean as he makes out.
Number 3, Paul Fix. Fix Marshal Micah Torrance, brought to life by, was a cornerstone of the series, which began in 1958. Born Peter Paul Fix on March 13, 1901, in Dobbs Ferry, New York, his roots were in the Black Forest of Germany, his parents Wilhelm and Louise Fix having immigrated to America. The name Fix, meaning animated or vital, certainly seemed to suit the actor. Growing up on the expansive property of his father's brewery, Peter Paul enjoyed a happy childhood with his 5 siblings. The brewery's closure after his parents' passing led the imaginative and somewhat solitary young man to live with his sisters. At 17, he joined the U.S. Navy, where his acting journey began unexpectedly in a Newport, Rhode Island production of HMS Pinafore, playing one of the female roles. His naval service also saw him aboard the USS Mount Vernon when it was torpedoed during World War I. After his discharge, he married his girlfriend, Frances Taddie Harvey, in 1922, and they moved to the warm climate of California. In Hollywood, Fix's path crossed with a fellow aspiring actor, Clark Gable, and they were soon part of Pauline Frederick's touring theatre troupe, performing in 20 plays together. Paul Fix transitioned to the silver screen in the mid-1920s, finding a niche in westerns. He appeared in numerous films, estimated between 300 and 400, with his first credited role in the 1928 part-talkie The First Kiss. In 1925, his daughter Marilyn Carey was born, who later married Harry Carey Jr., connecting him to a legendary Western family. His collaborations with John Wayne were significant, spanning 26 films starting with Three Girls Lost in 1931. Wayne, grateful for Fix's early coaching, ensured Fix's presence in his later movies, which helped shift Fix from villainous roles to more nuanced characters. Beyond acting, Fix was a screenwriter for films like Tall in the Saddle, Ring of Fear, and The Notorious Mr. Monks. Memorable roles included the stricken passenger in The High and the Mighty, Elizabeth Taylor's father in Giant, the grandfather in The Bad Seed, and the judge in To Kill a Mockingbird. Even after his last film appearance in Wanda, Nevada in 1979, he remained beloved for his role as Marshal Micah Torrance in The Rifleman. Paul Fix passed away from kidney failure on October 14, 1983, at the age of 82, leaving behind a rich legacy as a dependable and respected character actor.
Matter is, we heard talk that Micah Torrance is headed there.
Just hold up, boys!
Number 4. Bill Quinn, born William Tyrrell. Quinn on May 6, 1912 in New York City. He was a seasoned performer with roots in vaudeville and stage, even making his Broadway debut at the young age of 6. He also appeared in silent films as a child, billed as Billy Quinn, showcasing a long and dedicated career in entertainment. Quinn was also a well-known voice in radio, with notable work on Mrs. Wiggs of the Cabbage Patch and the aptly titled Just Plain Bill. Later in his career, he became known to a new generation through his roles in iconic productions like Twilight Zone, The Movie, The Birds, and Star Trek V, The Final Frontier. He also had recurring or guest roles in popular television series, such as Newhart, where he had the interesting connection of being the father-in-law of the show's star, Bob Newhart, as well as appearances in The Golden Girls, Riptide, Silver Spoons, and Hunter. Bill Quinn was married to Mary Catherine Roden for many years and had 3 children: Bob Newhart's wife, Ginny Newhart, Mary Ellen Quinn, and Eileen Quinn. Grandchildren include Robert William Newhart, Tim Newhart, and Courtney Newhart. Bill Quinn passed away from natural causes on April 29, 1994, in Camarillo, California, at the age of 81, marking the end of a remarkable career that spanned over 70 years across various mediums of entertainment. Number 5. Patricia Blair. In the later seasons of The Rifleman, a spirited new presence graced the town as Lou Mallory, a character brought to life by the talented Patricia Blair. Born Patsy Lou Blake on January 15, 1933 in Fort Worth, Texas, Patricia entered the entertainment world as a young model before being discovered by Warner Brothers. Initially using the stage name Patricia Blake, she navigated the typical starlet path, appearing in films like Jump into Hell, Crime Against Joe, The Black Sleep, and City of Fear. While these early roles showed promise, it was in television that she truly found her stride. In the early 1960s, she joined The Rifleman as a semi-regular cast member, stepping in as a spunky love interest for Chuck Connors, replacing Joan Taylor for a season. However, it was her role as Rebecca Boone, the wife of Fess Parker's legendary frontiersman, in the series Daniel Boone that brought her widespread recognition. She secured this lead role in 1964 and remained with the show for its successful 6-season run. Her work on Daniel Boone even earned her an Emmy nomination for Outstanding Supporting Actress in a drama series. Before her iconic role as Rebecca Boone, Patricia also made numerous guest appearances on popular television shows of the late 1950s and 1960s, including The Bob Cummings Show, The Virginian, Perry Mason, and Bonanza. Following the end of Daniel Boone in 1970, she appeared in a few minor film and television roles, before largely stepping away from the screen. Her last film appearance was a small part in The Electric Horseman in 1979, followed by a guest spot on Me and My Girl in 1988. In later years, she transitioned to producing trade shows in New York and New Jersey. Patricia Blair, who was married to land developer Martin Stanley Kolber for many years, passed away on September 9, 2013, at the age of 80 after a battle with breast cancer.
I have here a bank draft made out in your favor as a deposit toward the purchase of that land.
Number 6. Joe Higgins. While Joe Higgins is perhaps most widely recognized as the stern, gravel-voiced sheriff from numerous commercials with his famous line, "You in a heap of trouble, boy," he also contributed his character acting talents to The Rifleman. Born Joseph H. Higgins on July 12, 1925 in Logansport, Indiana, he was an actor from a young age, starting at 9. He furthered his education at the University of Dayton, working in radio during his studies. Higgins transitioned to television, where he secured recurring roles in series like The Rifleman, where he played the character Neil Swenson and Arrest and Trial. His portrayal of authority figures often led him to the iconic sheriff persona in a 1969 automobile commercial, a role that resonated deeply with audiences and earned him 2 CLIO awards for commercial acting. This character became a staple in numerous commercials, print advertisements, and public appearances throughout his career. Beyond his acting work, Joe Higgins was also a man of significant academic achievement, earning a PhD in aviation education from Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. He was married twice, first to Bernadine C. DiDomenico, with whom he had 2 children, Brian and Valerie, and later to Jackie. Joe Higgins passed away from a heart attack in Los Angeles, California, in June 1998 at the age of 72. His ashes were scattered in the Pacific Ocean by his children, a final farewell to a versatile actor who left a lasting impression in both entertainment and advertising. Number 7. Joan Taylor. In the early seasons of The Rifleman, the character of Millie Scott brought a charming presence to the series, portrayed by the talented Joan Taylor. Born Rosemary Emma on August 18, 1929, in Geneva, Illinois, Joan's connection to the entertainment world began early. Her mother, Amelia Berkey, was a vaudeville star, and her father worked in Hollywood and later managed a movie theater, fostering Joan's love for films. She even graduated from the Chicago National Association of Dancing Masters. Arriving in Hollywood in 1946, she honed her craft at the Pasadena Playhouse. A connection through Victor Jory led to her film debut in the Randolph Scott Western Fighting Man of the Plains in 1949. Over the next decade, she appeared in numerous films, particularly westerns, and made many appearances on television. However, she is fondly remembered by science fiction enthusiasts for her roles in the classic films Earth vs. the Flying Saucers and 20 Million Miles to Earth. In The Rifleman, Joan Taylor had a recurring role as Millie Scott, an intriguing and subtle love interest for Chuck Connor's character, Lucas McCain. However, her time on the show came to a close after 2 years. Her husband, Leonard Freeman, a producer and director, relocated their family to Hawaii, where he was producing the iconic series Hawaii Five-0. In December 1963, Joan Taylor made the decision to retire from acting to focus on raising her daughter. Later in life, she briefly returned to the entertainment industry in the late 1980s and early 1990s as a writer for film and television, and even made some cameo appearances. Taylor, who was also known by her married name Rose Freeman, passed away from natural causes on March 4, 2012, in Santa Monica, California, at the age of 82nd. Her contributions to both westerns and science fiction films, along with her memorable role in The Rifleman, left a lasting mark on classic television and cinema. Following her death, she was honored on an episode of the 2010 revival of Hawaii Five-0, with a dedication in loving memory of Rose Freeman, acknowledging her late husband's significant role as the creator of the original series.
Everybody, please! Look, I'm just getting settled here. I've got to make my inventory. If you would... I want you to tell me.
Billy.
Please.
Fritz Ford. Fritz Ford, born Fred Apking on November 12, 1927, in Reading, Ohio, was an actor whose imposing height of 6 feet 4 inches made him a noticeable presence in various productions, including The Rifleman. Fritz Ford was a stunt double for Chuck Connors on The Rifleman. Before his Hollywood career, Ford was a talented athlete in high school and college, and he even played football for the University of Washington. He transitioned to Hollywood in the early 1950s, initially working as a stuntman, leveraging his athletic build and abilities. As an actor, Fritz Ford appeared in a variety of films and television shows. His movie credits include roles in Mr. Roberts, The Bridge at Remagen, Damien, Omen 2, and National Lampoon's Vacation, often in character parts that utilized his height and strong presence. In television, he had appearances in series such as Murder, She Wrote, Matlock, MacGyver, L.A. Law, and V, often in smaller or uncredited roles that nonetheless contributed to the fabric of these shows. Fritz Ford passed away on August 25, 2006, in Amberley Village, Cincinnati, Ohio. John Anderson, a tall and distinguished character actor with a memorable voice, brought a wide range of characters to life throughout his prolific career, including Cass Calicut in The Rifleman. Born John Robert Anderson on October 20, 1922 in Clayton, Illinois, his striking resemblance to historical figures led him to portray Abraham Lincoln 3 times and baseball commissioner Judge Kennesaw Mountain Landis twice. Growing up in Illinois, Anderson was an active and athletic youth. He served in the Coast Guard during World War II before pursuing higher education, earning a master's degree in drama from the University of Iowa. His acting journey began on the riverboat Goldenrod and progressed through regional theater, and eventually to the New York stage, where he also occasionally sang on Broadway. Anderson became a consistent presence on television during its early years, maintaining a remarkably consistent appearance over 4 decades. He was adept at portraying lawmen, including a recurring role as Virgil Earp in The Life and Legend of Wyatt Earp, as well as cops, governors, judges, and military officers. He also took on notable roles such as the hard-nosed oil executive Herbert Stiles in Dallas and the patriarch of the Hazard clan in North and South. His talent extended to science fiction, with memorable appearances in 4 episodes of The Twilight Zone, most notably as the angel Gabriel in A Passage for Trumpet. While primarily known for his television work, Anderson also had impactful roles on the big screen, including the furtive car dealer, California Charlie, in Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, and the ruthless leader, Addis, in Day of the Evil Gun. He even reprised his role as Lincoln in The Lincoln Conspiracy. John Anderson was married to Patricia Ann Kaysen, who passed away in 1989, and they had 2 children. Shortly before his own death, he spoke of the emotional challenge of his role in a Star Trek, The Next Generation episode that resonated with his personal loss. John Anderson passed away from a heart attack on August 7, 1992, at the age of 69, leaving behind a rich legacy as a versatile and respected actor in both film and television. His ashes were scattered at sea, befitting his service in the Coast Guard. Dabbs Greer. On April 2, 1917, Dabbs Greer was a familiar face on television, often portraying merchants, preachers, and other townsfolk, but also occasionally villains. He is perhaps best remembered as Reverend Alden on Little House on the Prairie. Before that iconic role, he guest starred in numerous popular series, including The Rifleman. His appearance as Finney in The Photographer adds to his extensive list of television credits, showcasing his reliable and versatile supporting acting talents. Dabbs Greer passed away on April 28, 2007, at the age of 90, leaving behind a legacy of memorable character portrayals. Number 14. Peter Whitney, a character actor known for his imposing build and memorable presence, indeed played the role of Andrew Bechtel in one episode of The Rifleman. He appeared as Andrew Bechtel in the episode titled The Lost Treasure of Canyontown, which originally aired on February 28, 1961. Born in 1916, Peter Whitney, whose full name was likely Peter Rhodes Engel, carved a niche playing burly and often gruff characters in numerous films and television shows. He was married twice and had 5 children. Sadly, Peter Whitney passed away from a heart attack at the young age of 55 on March 30, 1972, with his obesity believed to be a contributing factor. While Andrew Bechtel was just one of the many characters he brought to life, His appearance in The Rifleman remains a part of his extensive acting career. Number 15. Hope Summers. Hope Summers, born Sarah Hope Summers, on June 7, 1902, in Mattoon, Illinois, brought a memorable presence to The Rifleman as Hattie Denton. With her gently stern yet old-fashioned demeanor, Summers often found herself cast in roles that depicted friendly neighbors, helpful individuals like teachers and nurses, and sometimes inveterate gossips, much like her later iconic portrayal of Aunt Bee's companion on The Andy Griffith Show. Summers developed an early passion for theater, honing her skills at Northwestern School of Speech, where she not only graduated, but also taught speech and diction, eventually heading the speech department at Bradley University. In the 1930s, she shifted her focus primarily to acting, gaining experience in community and stock theaters, and earning recognition for her one-woman shows. Her eloquent voice also made her a sought-after talent in radio, where she participated in numerous dramatic programs. In 1950, she transitioned to the burgeoning medium of television, securing a regular role in the comedy series Hawkins Falls, a television novel. As she matured, Summers was frequently called upon to play slightly older characters in films such as 0 Hour, Hound Dog Man, Inherit the Wind, Spencer's Mountain, The Ghost and Mr. Chicken, Charlie Varick, and her final film, Foul Play. While she didn't often have leading roles in movies, television proved to be a more abundant avenue for her talents, placing her in various small-town and western settings in series like Dennis the Menace, Petticoat Junction, Maverick, and Wagon Train. Interestingly, Hope Summers also lent her voice to the famous talking maple syrup bottle, Mrs. Butterworth. Her family had notable connections as well. Her father was a member of Congress, and her brothers pursued successful careers in business and the diplomatic corps. Hope Summers continued to work until near the end of her life. She passed away from heart failure on June 22, 1979, at the age of 77, leaving behind a legacy of memorable character portrayals across various platforms. Chris Al-Qaeda. Imagine the dusty streets of North Fork, and a sense of unease hanging in the air. In the episode A Case of Identity of The Rifleman, which aired in 1960, the imposing figure of Lon Perry, brought to life by the formidable Chris Al-Qaeda, stepped into this world. Born John Thomas Berger in Youngstown, Ohio, on October 23, 1922, Al-Qaeda was the quintessential villain, a towering presence at 6 foot 2.5 inches, often cast as the menacing henchman in numerous film noirs and westerns. His steely gaze and deep, resonant voice were his trademarks, casting a shadow over heroes for decades. While Lon Perry was just one of 10 distinct characters Al-Qaeda portrayed across his appearances in The Rifleman, it exemplified his ability to embody the archetypal bad guy. Throughout his career, he menaced the likes of Glenn Ford, Lorne Greene, and even Elvis Presley. Despite possessing the charisma and stature that some felt could have made him a leading Western star, Al-Qaeda carved a niche as the unforgettable arch-villain. A U.S. Army veteran, his dedication to his craft was evident, even noting the point at which he felt he had arrived, when he finally had a stunt double. In 2003, his significant contributions to the Western genre were recognized with the Crystal Samuelian Golden Boot Award. Chris Al-Qaeda passed away from lung cancer on June 30, 2004 in Palm Springs, California, at the age of 81. Number 17. Richard Devon. In the classic Western series, The Rifleman from 1958, Richard Devon stepped into the boots of Austin Stark. From a young age, Richard knew he wanted to be an actor, a dream that took root after a small role in a school play. To pursue this passion, he even worked his way through drama school, painting, building, and lighting his path onto the stage and screen. Before landing roles in film, Richard gained early television experience on an experimental station, and even had a recurring part in the children's show Space Patrol in the 1950s. Interestingly, his character on that show was put into suspended animation after he requested a pay raise. Richard's career spanned decades, showcasing his versatility across various genres. In 1957, he appeared as Satan in The Undead, and in 1958, he took on the role of Dr. Paul Van Ponder in War of the Satellites. Later, in 1973, he shared the screen with Clint Eastwood in Magnum Force, playing the character Rika. He also ventured into the Planet of the Apes universe, appearing in the 1974 television series as Xandar. Beyond these notable works, Richard made guest appearances in numerous television series, including Mission: Impossible, where he played 3 different characters between 1966 and 1972, The FBI, with 4 episodes from 1967 to 1972, and Mannix, also with multiple appearances during the same period. His television credits also include roles in Richie Brockelman, Private Eye, Quark, and Midnight Caller. A fascinating piece of trivia highlights Richard's involvement in setting the premise for the series A Man Called Shenandoah in 1965, where his character shot Robert Horton, leading to the protagonist's amnesia and quest for identity. Richard was married to Patricia Ann Riopelle from December 13, 1959 until his passing. Reflecting on his experience working with director Roger Corman, Richard once quipped about Corman's contrasting personalities, describing him as charming in his office, but transforming into Attila the Hun on set if a production went even slightly over budget. Born on December 11, 1926, as Richard Gibson Ferriol, Richard Devon left a lasting mark on television and film, passing away at the age of 83.